People going crazy think they found a code word for human meat? Wait, what? Hope you are feeling better. Did we analyze the jerky? Why didn't we get jerky this week? I also added more to the jerky and ginger lemongrass. Thank you so much. Super cool. Beef jerky, delicious. Jojo is here and we'll walk the jerky over to Jeffrey. We'll walk the jerky over to Jeffrey. Why would jerky walk around? Why would it do that? Delicious lunch, beef jerky. Steve and I are very grateful above all for your friendship. Some of these emails are so wholesome, aren't they? It's too bad they eat kids. A small insulated bag would be fine. I don't remember checking it. No need for crazy amounts of ice. One should do. There is one bag of beef jerky in the fridge. Please get it. Also, Blake has more at her place. Please get it from her as well. I suppose it needs to be in a cold, insulated bag. Just wanted to touch base about jerky.
No,
Jamie
it doesn't.
said he was going to start eating regular food again, so he might be eating less jerky. He said he has 6 bags of it in the downstairs freezer. Why would you freeze jerky? Steve needs a 6 to 8 ounce portion of jerky. I gave you all the jerky we had, and it lasted only half the amount of time it was meant to. I felt like it was more important for you to have the jerky to eat during my time off. My plan is to make a batch before I leave for LSJ, and some of that will go to Steve, and the rest will go to you at LSJ when I arrive. Little St. James Island. And that's what LSJ must mean. So logically, that means that they were doing this off of the island. Steve Hansen is sending jerky to your attention overnight. I believe it should be enough to get him through. Jeffrey Epstein is asking to bring him more jerky. I'm flying in on Friday. I will bring jerky. Is there a time I could come say hi and drop off the beef jerky? And that's from Jeffrey Epstein. Francis has time to come tomorrow. Show me how to make it. Jerky class anyone. He will bring you to taste his new jerky recipe from the restaurant. He sends a warm hello. He's working at a restaurant called guys, the restaurant's called Cannibal and Cooks. Wait for it. Beef jerky and steak. Can blank make some jerky? I think we should landscape all around the house to use the water if possible. If the main house is not enough. Are there any recorded images of Jeffrey Epstein with beef jerky at all? No, there are no recorded or publicly known images of Jeffrey Epstein with beef jerky. Who sends beef jerky to a lab for analysis? Wait, what? I was looking for the beef jerky as I knew it was in my suitcase, and I thought that maybe I left it on the beach, only to find a small plastic bag near my dog's bed. I'll email Francis to make us some more, as I need 6 to 8 ounces to send to the lab, and I'll forward to Francis the info to send to the lab directly. Guys, I think something's going on. What's this here? Commercial. Apparently it's his last girlfriend who's active on Twitter right now. Check the mail. Names for hers again. Oh boy, oh boy. People are saying this is Jeffrey Epstein's last girlfriend, and this is the same name as in...
Wait, she don't look 12.
Side of the files, and her name change hasn't occurred since 2017 before the files released. After years of silence, the truth. Jeffrey was innocent. I really? Like, he just a good boy? He didn't do nothing wrong? Trapped by powerful people who silenced him. I was his last confidant, and I have the evidence that they're still hiding. I'm not suicidal, just in case. You'll know the whole truth soon. They sacrificed children to Lucifer. It's an entire cult. Jeffrey got involved in their operation for financial reasons and to obtain Combraprat, but never participated in the rituals. Oh, what is this here? I'll pull this one up and see.
Wait, hold on. So the girlfriend pretty much admitted. The girlfriend admitted that they do sacrifice Chillum to Lucifer. You say he had no involvement, and then you said this? Like he was trying to get some sort of financial gain from being a part of that? But he had no involvement? Girl, stop. Is that what he told you and he didn't let you see any of it? I doubt it. You saw it too, girl.
Participated in the rituals. Oh, what is this here? I'll pull this one up and see it. That's crazy. She cooked in the brain? Maybe. She ate the brain? Yeah, maybe she did. Wire transfer request form. A 65-gallon... Guys, 655-gallon sulfuric acid with fuel and insurance charge? They are dissolving bodies.
This stuff right here. They really want us to believe that talking about this stuff right here. When people talk in code and it sounds so blatantly obvious that they're talking in code, nobody talks about beef jerky that way. Nor do they talk about pizza or ice cream or hot dogs the way these people talk about this stuff. It's clear that they're not talking about these food groups. Talking about some walk the jerky over to you, huh? Since when does jerky need to be put into a freezer? You just put this dry stuff in the bag like this and seal it up. It's good. Now you eat it. You know what? I'm curious. I want to know. I need to know. Comment down below if you believe they're talking about some damn beef jerky. I want to know how many people actually believe that mess. Nobody? Thank you. This is something that I just found not 20 minutes ago. I was talking on the phone with my friend and I had to have a conversation about this and what I saw. There's some emails that Jeffrey was receiving, right? And one or two in particular really stood out to me. This being the first one. This one states from this woman. She says, "Dear Jeffrey, I gave birth to a little something girl." What's that other word that they redacted? "On Sunday night, she was 7 pounds, redacted, ate a massive cheeseburger right after. She's very peaceful. XXX Christina." So I had to think to myself, like this is odd. Like what grown woman who's in a relationship, potentially married to a whole nother man, would sit here and email another dude and tell them that you gave birth to a little girl and you ate a cheeseburger after? Like, how enamored by this individual do you have to be to feel so enticed to want to send him an email like that? This seems like something that someone in a cult would do. Because what is it that you're trying to do? Are you trying to offer your child off to Jeffrey Epstein? Because that's the vibe that I'm getting from that email. And then I read this. And then you have this email right here. I'm not sure if it's between the same person or not, but this is what it states. It looked like this might be a response back from Jeffrey. He says, "Great to hear from you. Send photos, please." I'm assuming that's of someone that's underage. So the woman sends Jeffrey this email on June 1st, 2009 at 2:39 p.m. "Hello, my dearest Jeffrey. I've been trying to reach you, and thankfully to your recording, I have a way to say hello to you. Hello. Do you remember me? I'm blank blonde, older." Look, pay attention to this. Older. Why is she putting emphasis on the fact that she's older and put the ER at the end of older? "I hope you do. I think of you a lot, and you have to know that you're always very special to me. Little about me since I see you last." Since the last time I saw you, maybe. And that's another thing. These folks talk so illiterate. Like they be so illiterate in their emails, it be pissing me off. "Alexandra, my baby girl, is already 2 years old. Very cute and fun. Waiting to meet Uncle Jeff in July, maybe sooner. We're expecting twins, 2 boys. Looking forward to that too. Love being a mother. Anyway, please stay in touch. I would be very happy to hear from you. Kisses." Tell me this don't sound like they're offering these children, their children, off to Jeffrey. That has to be the case, y'all. It's one thing that so many of us thought of Jeffrey as this individual who was finding these kids and bringing them to all these powerful figures, these people that have money. But it's another thing to think that these are people who were Jeffrey's peers that were having kids of their own and offering their kids off to Jeffrey. Now, I'm alleging that that's what's happening. That's what I'm thinking. I could be so wrong, but that's what I'm thinking. I'm curious to know if y'all feel the same way that I do about what we're seeing from these emails here. There's more. For one, you got this suspicious email that says, "Hey, Jeffrey, do you still need a fake wife? I might have found a perfect candidate. She is 50 years old, Russian, speaks perfect English, has lived and worked in New York, Jewish, and trustworthy. She is looking for a job. Should I propose it to her?" This is a common thing from people who are trying to hide a secret life that is so taboo that they need not to let certain people know about it, right? So they make it seem as though they're in this relationship that's very normal when clearly we know that what they're into isn't normal at all. We're going to skip over this first portion up here because it's not of very much importance. But look at this here. We can't thank you enough. Yet another life experience. If the Massey Warriors don't eat us, the pirates from Somali will. Try to make a little racist joke, it seemed like. And then they continue. Coming to PB to see you in January. Taking photos. We'll have a ball and think of you all the time. The way these people talk. And then check this out. Can bring a baby back for you or two. Would you like boys or girls? Clearly, it wasn't just Jeffrey that was supplying these kids. There were people supplying children to Jeffrey. This fool forgot to use the code words. They didn't use the code words in this email. Peggy Siegel on a Friday, December 18th, 2009. Look at how these people be kissing Jeffrey Epstein's ass. This junk is so weird. This person named Marsha Drokova sent Jeffrey this email. She says, I found criteria to find smart people. The more Jew you are, the smarter you are. You said you're 98% Jew. You're very smart. My ex-boss is 78% Jew. He is super smart, less smart than you are. I have a close friend, business partner who's 99.3% Jew. He is crazily smart. We take all the Jewish people. Sourcing can be done through relatives. Ask them to do 23andMe tests. Do events for everyone who is 98% Jew. Also, all of them are not religious. Do you think it makes sense, right? Some weird mess right there. I feel like when white people want to only deal with white people, they just look at their skin color, be like, oh, you passed. We can work together.
Hate it. I would eat a human. If you were at a very fancy restaurant and they were like a tiny piece of human meat.
No. I think the only way
you wouldn't try a tiny bite?
No.
Really?
Absolutely not.
Is that terrible? Hate it.
Yeah, it's terrible. And the worst part is you've probably already done it. Why is it only celebrities that joke about eating people, but it don't be sounding like they're joking about eating people? Like, y'all remember this clip?
Can you tell us a secret about Steven Spielberg? He eats babies. Whole babies.
That looks great. Thank you. What you want in a pancake is to have the consistency of young human flesh.
It's spongy. It has life to it.
You're with a guy with brightly colored undergarments, and you got soft human flesh in front of you. You're in a weird place.
I'm looking forward to this.
And you're a late 50.
Yeah.
But somehow you both look the same age there. I mean, you know, there's something to be said for being with a younger man.
I suck baby's blood. And put it on my face.
Okay.
Just joking.
If the person okayed it, I would eat a human. If you were at a very fancy restaurant and they were like a tiny piece of human meat.
No. I think the only way
you wouldn't try a tiny bite?
No.
Really?
Absolutely.
There has been so many more videos to come out of the Epstein files of Jeffrey hanging around a ton of kids. I mean, before it was teenagers, borderline adults, but now they're so young. Now these kids seem to be under the age of 10, some under 5. Viewer discretion is advised.
This has got to be one of the most shocking and disturbing photographs I've ever seen in my entire life. And yes, this appears to be Jeffrey Epstein with a small child. This is what the file that this photograph was found in looks like. For some reason, it has been labeled highly confidential, and you can see the file number and everything in the bottom right. But I don't know exactly what's going on here, but this appears to be Epstein assaulting a child. This does not look like a teenager. This looks like a very, very young girl. And I think that that's something that's a little infuriating for me as someone who has studied the Epstein story and reported on it for years. In the mainstream media, you will hear stories that Epstein only targeted women essentially of legal age. Yeah, they might have been 16 or 17, but they like to call them women. In fact, nobody seems to use proper terminology when referring to the Epstein victims and survivors. And yes, there were women that survived Epstein, women that were a bit older, but most of Epstein's victims were children. And you can clearly see in photos like this that Epstein surrounded himself with kids, even though curiously, he had no offspring of his own. And we don't know who these children are in any of these photos or these videos, but I have never seen this photo on the evening news. I have never seen this photo discussed, and I have to admit, this is one of the most shocking things that I've ever seen that clearly shows that Epstein was targeting very, very young kids. And it's just insane to me to think that people don't even want to admit that there were children and boys that were targeted by Epstein. And I've noticed that a lot of people also don't want to admit to themselves that their hero, the person that they seem to worship, is the one that's practically in charge of the cover-up right now, because he's all over the files. Not just as a witness, as someone who allegedly, according to many different witnesses and accusers, actively participated in Epstein's ring. If you want to join me on my journey to expose these freaks, please consider checking out my channel, The Conspiracy Files. You can also listen to the show fully uncensored on all streaming platforms like Spotify and Apple Podcasts. I just interviewed an Epstein/Trump survivor last week. Her name is Beatrice. She was incredible. And this week I'm spending the entire week going one by one through these files and trying to decode as many things as I possibly can for y'all and to put it all in one place.
As I've been sitting here going through some of this stuff myself and looking at these images and videos of these redacted children running around, hanging out with Jeffrey, I thought to myself, whose kids are these? Who do these kids belong to? Why isn't it that any of the parents have came out and stated that's my child? You should be able to see some sort of indicator from the clothes these kids are wearing, or maybe their hair or their skin, something. Especially if your child went missing allegedly. You should be able to see some sort of indicator that might have been your child that was in these videos or pictures. And then I thought about the Sasha Riley story that I covered over on my Patreon, where he stated that it was his own parents that were forking him over to these people like Jeffrey Epstein to be assaulted by these elites, which again, these people aren't elite. Ain't nothing elite about this weird stuff. Why is it, because this is what everybody is questioning and we all know the answer to it, why is it that these people aren't being arrested? We're getting names, we're seeing faces. Why is it that they're not being arrested? Is it because the main perpetrator, like he stated, one of the main perpetrators is the person that's in control of everything right now? And to hold these people accountable for the actions that they did would also mean to hold him accountable as well. If I was the president of the free world, which we know ain't free, I'm arrested. Every last one of them. They all got to go. And if I don't, then I'm the biggest enabler of them all and probably need to be arrested too. He don't want to arrest these folk because he need to be arrested too, right? Yeah.
All right, another video that I've uncovered in the Epstein files using the no images produced and then deleting PDF at the end and putting in MP4. This is a video of a girl playing with a dog. Maybe someone will recognize the dog. And at the end of this video, well, first I think this is in here because this dog is about to hump the girl. And then at the very,
which I'm definitely not showing that part. Like whoever was recording that, they didn't even bother trying to stop that dog from doing that.
Here he comes. Who is that sick fucker?
That man's sitting on the floor.
Since it went by really fast and it was up.
Who is this?
Upside down, I screenshotted it and turned it right side up. Who is this sick fucker?
I can't help but to wonder at this point, do these men, if you want to call them that, because what I'm thinking is they got something missing about their manhood. Something about their manhood is off. They don't even come off as being masculine to me in any sense of the word. What is that?
I hate to say I told you so, but I did. All of society's problems are caused by men with low T. The least shocking news to come out of the Epstein case is an email thread between Jeffrey and his doctor showing that he had testosterone levels of 145. That's close to womanhood. He was an old man. He was supposed to have low testosterone. No, it goes way deeper than that. Like most low T men, his next goal was to bring everybody else down with him. This email thread on December 17th, 2018 shows a premeditated plan to make men more feminine. Literally talking about finding ways to disrupt our hormones or block our testosterone production and pump our estrogen in order to feminize men. Talking about targeting our children as young as 3 years old because it's easier to manipulate their genetics at a younger age. Talking about sexual fantasies with women with masculine features and men with feminine features. Transgenderism has been a psyop the entire time. The elites are literally planning how to turn us into soft, squishy losers for their own amusement. These are the same people who put in the media that toxic masculinity is the #1 threat to American society. This is clear, undeniable proof of a premeditated attack on our hormones. This should piss you off. History repeats itself every time. The same thing happened to the Romans, the Ottomans. Low T has been the cause of every fall of every civilization since the dawn of time.
There you have it. There you have it. 142 was Jeffrey Epstein's testosterone test, his levels. I get he was an older man, but how much, fellas, if you're older, 50s, 60s, go get a testosterone test now and report back to me. Because I'm curious. I feel like that's not even the great excuse. Mind you, I had a testosterone test done 2 weeks ago. I'm getting into my whole fitness thing right now. So I wanted to know where my levels were. 341 is what mine came back to. Perfectly normal, perfectly fine, perfectly acceptable. But I don't think that having low T like that, well, damn shit, maybe it does. Maybe that shit does. Because I recently found out that Hitler, one of his nuts didn't even drop. And he had a micro penis. I don't know if he was necessarily into kids like Jeffrey and all these other people, but we know he did some messed up stuff and had a whole lot of hatred in his heart. Y'all don't believe me? Look, I'm going to Google it. Did Hitler have a micro penis? And Adolf Hitler may have suffered from a genetic disorder called Kallmann syndrome, which can lead to low testosterone, undescended testicles, and a micropenis. When men aren't enough of a man, they do some bitch ass shit, and it'd be like, what is so bad? Why does shit be so bad? Fuck.
Symbolism will be their downfall. Or is it just art? And let me be the first to tell you, it's all connected. I mean, if you know, you know. But first, let's go back to that video of Ellen DeGenerate. When the camera turns, you can see the inside of her house. Now, see that picture right there? Well, if you pause it and look it up, it says evil thoughts with revenge right next to it. Here's another picture of Ellen in her house, and this is the picture behind her. Now, the thing I'm curious about is the letters on top of the picture. These look oddly similar to the letters Marina Abramovich writes out when she does spirit cooking. Remember the beginning of the video? It's all connected. And that person that was in all red is Lady Gaga, and she went to Marina Abramovich many times for teaching. But let's continue. This is another picture of Ellen in her home. She's cutting her mother's hair, but what is that picture above her head? Symbolism will be their downfall.
The artwork is so poor. You know how you watch a horror movie, and in the horror movie, there's like a kid and they're experiencing something evil, so they draw it out on a sheet of paper and it looks so demonic and you can't really figure out what's going on until you get deeper into the show or the movie. That's what these freaking paintings and drawings look like. They look like some scribble of some evil mess that was drawn up by a kid. And these people are like looking at this as good art? No, that's not at all what it is. It's bigger than that. And we know it. We know it. Allegedly. I gotta say that. We don't know it. It's really just alleged.
The Epstein Files Part 4. You guys, something really weird is going on with these files, so let's get into it. Starting with this, where my last video I showed you guys right here where it says the name Ball was the name of the account, but actually it was a misprint saying that the bank name was Wachovia Bank. And Ian Carroll pointed this out because the actual account name says right here, One Clear Lake Center, and has a bunch of other misspelled words right here and up here where it says $11,438, and that's a misprint right there because it says 110810, right? So Case closed. Well, not so fast, because I found this statement, which is pretty much identical. If you pay attention, it says the same thing without the misprints. Please wire $11,438, and you can see right here where it says $11,438. And on the last one where it said bald name, this one says the correct name, bank name, and you can even tell it's the same one because it has the same invoice number, 1404. Now, let's assume that these are reprints or duplicates, because here's the wire date, July 27th, and at the bottom it says July 29th, 2009. Just like on this one where it says July 29th as well. Couple questions. Why would you have
I'm gonna go ahead and explain this. For a good portion of what we're seeing in the Epstein files, a big reason why a lot of it is misspelled and looks funky and looks weird and words don't seem to align right. And I don't know why this is an excuse, because I don't think it's ever happened for us, but they're copying and pasting. They're copying and pasting, and they're not proofreading what they copy and paste. And it's almost like there is AI involved and it's messing up. But that's what's happening.
two of the same documents, one with correct spelling, the other one with misspells, including this one where it's supposed to say bank, but it says Baal or Baal, B-A-A-L, which is related to the deity that they worship for child sacrifice? Is this a false flag breadcrumb, being that this is the only one when you type in BAAL, it shows up, and the other ones are BAA1, which is a bank code that Ian Carroll showed? It's almost like they wanted us to see this version so everybody can run with it. Just like they wanted us to see this document as well by the U.S. Attorney's Office announcing Jeffrey Epstein's death on August 9th. But here's the thing. Jeffrey Epstein died August 10th. So how did they know that he died a full day before? Also, I find it pretty odd that early release marked for August 9th is the same date that the Business Insider posted this article showing unsealed flight logs showing that Trump was on Epstein's private jet in 1997. Weird. You guys, all this...
Sorry about that, the Maverick approach. I cut you off, but y'all make sure y'all go check out his page. He be dropping stuff all the time. But think about that, though. That's kind of telling. He kind of told on himself with this one. Business Insider dropped on August 9th that Donald Trump was indeed on those flight logs. And the next day, Epstein dies. Yeah. Uh-huh. Yeah, yeah, that sounds about right. What? Leave your thoughts, comments, and opinions down below, and I'm gonna catch y'all in the next one. See ya.